Guys, welcome to Kelly Ryder's house, Speakeasy. Thank you for coming. It's our first Speakeasy, actually. A man named Dylan Fritz. Yes. No, that's not his last name. Yes. Oh, that is his last name. Came up with the idea, so thank you, Dylan. My name is Lex. I'm going to be your MC for the night, or for the afternoon, evening, but yeah. And welcome in. If you haven't come before, Speakeasy happens once every month. So thank you guys for coming in. If you don't know, we also have a calendar in the front where you can check out some of our other Kelly Ryder's House events. And just some beginner rules for Speakeasy. Pretty much we try to keep all of our performances. If you want to perform, there's a sign-up sheet right on the back when you're walking in. So you can use that to sign up. We try to keep things around 2 to 3 minutes. So if you're going to do songs, you can do maybe 2, but try to keep them medium length so that we have enough time for all the events. And if you want to read, if you want to sing, you can pretty much do anything. We're really open to whatever. We don't want to hear any racist commentary, any homophobic things. This is not the place, and there never should be a place. But definitely not a space here. But I want everybody to be really encouraging. If you like what you're hearing or what a performer's doing, feel free to clap, feel free to snap, feel free to shout, whatever. It's a really chill space. So thanks everybody for showing up. And you can sign up during whenever you want. You can just get up and sign up on the sheet. Alrighty. And for give me a sec. Alrighty, for the first act of the night, we are going to have, let me check this list. We have Eric Tyler. All right, put your hands together.
All right, my name's Eric. I'm not a student, but I'm just kind of a guy making music. This is a song by Death Cab for Cutie. If anyone's a fan, you can feel free to sing along. It's called I'll Follow You Into the Dark. I got my knuckles bruised by a lady in white. I held my tongue as she told me, son, fear is the heart of love. So I never went back. If heaven and hell decide that they both are satisfied, illuminate the notes If I can do one more, is that still cool? Okay, cool. So this song I also did not write. It's by Bob Dylan. Also want to say I didn't come prepared with any Halloween songs, so sorry about that. This is called Love Minus Zero. My love, she speaks like silence, without ideals of violence. She doesn't have to say she's faithful, yet she's true like ice, like fire. People carry roses and make promises by the hour. My love, she lasts like the flowers. Valentine's can't buy her. Talk over situations, read books and repeat quotations, draw conclusions on the wall. Some speak of the future. My love, she speaks softly. She knows there's no success like failure, and that failure's no success at all. The cloak and dagger dangles, madams light the candles, and ceremonies of the horsemen, even the pawn must hold a grudge. The wind howls like a hammer, the night blows cold and rainy. My love, she's like some raven at my window with a broken wing. Thank you. I do have some original music on Spotify, Bandcamp, Apple Music, kind of all over the place. My EP is called Ode to Existentialism. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Eric. We're gonna get the spooky voice down, guys, by the end of the night. We're gonna have it locked in. And for all the musicians out there, feel free to shout out your handles, whatever. Definitely, MC. You can get some new followers. Might as well. And I forgot to tell people that Speakeasy, my bad. Speakeasy is not only for students, it is for community members, whoever feels like showing up, because it's open to the public. Kelly Writers House is pretty open to the public, so anybody who wants to come up, your dad, your sister, your cousin's dog, bring them. Why not? Alrighty, so up next, we're gonna have Heidi. Give a hand for Heidi.
Hello, everybody. So for Speakeasy, we're also allowing people to read something written by somebody else. So I'm going to read a piece of flash fiction called Unexplained by H.V. Patterson, and I've never read it before, so I don't know how horrific it is. We'll find out, but I think there's probably like, I did scroll through it, and I don't think it's that terrible, so we'll see. Okay, Unexplained. 1 second, I have 10 fingers. The next, I have 9. I'm sure you're picturing the scene, the bright, sharp smell of blood, emergency surgery. Months later, a morbidly funny story to tell at the office holiday party. The jagged scar, a ring branded into my flesh. But that isn't what happens. I'm chopping carrots for dinner. My husband Bashir is on his way home, and Ruya is playing with her Legos in the living room. I'll never forget the feeling of my capable fingers curled around the knife's handle, the surety of my hand as it's moved up and down, the soothing staccato clap of the blade hitting the cutting board. The knife doesn't slip. There's no fountain of blood. My left ring finger is simply gone between one blink and the next, as if it had never been. Where my finger should be, there's only a smooth expanse skin unmarred by scar tissue or any wound. My wedding ring clatters to the counter, the only concrete evidence of the sudden impossible absence. The 2-carat diamond winks up at me from its nest of tiny rubies. I'm still looking from the bloodless knife to my wedding ring to the smooth space where my finger isn't when my husband arrives. The first doctor thinks we're lying. When Bashir brandishes pictures of our wedding day, our wide bleached smiles, my 10 fingers curled around a bouquet of pink roses, he waves dismissively. Photoshop. It's not, Bashir snaps. Ruya presses against my side for comfort, and I pull her into my lap. She's 5, but small for her age. There's no sign of recent trauma or scarring, the doctor says. He doesn't look at me. He has barely glanced at me this entire appointment. It's my professional opinion that your wife always had 9 fingers. My name is Amanda, I say. Fingers don't just disappear, he continues, not looking at me. But that's what happened, I say. Get out of my office, he tells Bashir, disgust visible. Don't waste my time. I pull on my glove and we go. Ruya reaches for my left hand as we leave. I jerk it away as if my loss is contagious. I offer her my right hand instead, but I can't erase the hurt from her honey-colored eyes. The next doctor is sympathetic. She believes that I believe my own truth. She tells Bashir to wait in the lobby and asks me probing questions about domestic abuse. When I angrily tell her that there's no abuse, that I'm just trying to figure out what happened to my fucking finger, she smiles tightly and recommends a psychiatrist. I used to love my hands. I kept them immaculate, moisturized and manicured. Now I can't bring myself to care for them. My skin is chapped, my polish chipped, my wedding ring gleams on my middle finger, an uncomfortable fit over the gloves I wear to shield myself from the curious eyes of strangers and startled exclamations of friends. Ruya stops asking about my finger. When we're crossing the street, she only reaches for my right hand. Between the unending cycle of laundry and dishes and errands, I scroll through Reddit threads. I lurk on message boards devoted to demons, UFOs, witchcraft, government conspiracies. I read about flesh-eating bacteria, leprosy, parasites, which hollow out their insect hosts from the inside. Nothing like my own situation. Are we wrong? I asked Bashir one night, months later. Did we somehow imagine all this? He holds me while I cry. Don't let them gaslight you, he says. We both know the truth. It's impossible, though. Everyone says so. By now, we've seen a dozen specialists. None of them believe us. Just because they have medical degrees doesn't mean they know what they're talking about, Bashir says. I settle against his shoulder, sniffling snot and tears onto his pillow. He grabs his phone and starts pulling up photos. This has become a ritual on bad nights. The two of us examining the past, enlarging pictures, tracing the 2-dimensional lines of my ring finger, proof it was really there. We stay up late, scrolling through pictures, evidence of a shared life, a shared reality. I dream of mangled toes and pulled teeth. I dream my hair falls out, turns to wire, strangles me. I dream my rib cage deflates as my ribs vanish one by one. I dream I cut my fingers off with a carving knife and they turn into limp carrots. I wake gasping. Bashir holds me while I weep with gratitude. Minus 1 finger, I am still here. 3 years later, life is almost normal. We've stopped seeing doctors. My nightmares are gone. I'm humming to myself as I clean the kitchen. Bashir is upstairs putting Ruya to bed. He screams. It's a high, despairing shriek like a rabbit caged in a hawk's talons. I bolt from the kitchen, up the stairs, down the hall, into Maria's bedroom. She's sitting upright in bed, hands held rigid in front of her. 10 fingers. Relief surges through me, but then she lowers her hands. Mom, she says, is that you? Her mouth moves, her nostrils flare, her eyebrows crinkle with confusion. But where her eyes should be, there's nothing but smooth, blank space, like an unfinished drawing. I can't see anything, Mom, Maria says, reaching for me. There are no words to offer her. I step forward and embrace her as Bashir dials 911. Ruya can no longer cry, but I have tears enough for both of us. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, so that took a turn that I was not expecting. I just want to know where the first finger went. Like, okay. That first doctor was a hater, too. Like, that man should get fired. Anyways, though. For all future people who want to read a spooky story, feel free. I don't know what too gory is. That wasn't even that gory. But I don't know what too gory is. I feel like you'll know it when you're reading it. So don't. But read a story if you want. And then up next, also, for all new people who came in, there is sign up in the back. If you want to sign up, feel free. And so up next, we have Shaylee and Greg. All righty, put your hands together.
Hello. This song is called John Wayne Gacy Jr. by Sufjan Stevens. It's about a serial killer named John Wayne Gacy Jr., so, you know, spooky, I guess.
It's probably good, right?
Yeah. His father was a drinker, and his mother cried in bed, folding John Wayne's t-shirts when the swing set hit his head. The neighbors, they adored him for his humor and his conversation. Look underneath the house there, find the few living things rotting fast in their sleep of the dead. 27 people, even more. They were boys with their cars, summer jobs. Oh my God. Ooh, are you one of them? He dressed up like a clown for them, with his face paint white and red. And on his best behavior, in a dark room on the bed, he kissed them all. He'd killed 10,000 people with a sleight of his hand, running far, running fast to the dead. He took off all their clothes for them. He put a cloth on their lips, quiet hands, quiet kiss on the mouth. Ooh. And in my best behavior, I am really just like him. Look beneath the floorboards for the secrets I have hid.
That was really good, y'all. Great job. I can't show excitement in the right way in this voice. I'm not a fan of it, but it's okay. But really great job. Okay, thank you. That was really great, yeah. Okay, let's see. Alrighty, up next, we are going to have the other Greg. Oh, it's the same Greg. Okay, give it up for same Greg.
Hello. This is a song I wrote. It's called Broken Mannequin, so it's a little spooky. Yeah. Okay. A broken mannequin slumped over and still. As the weather gets colder, does he feel the chill? He faces the wall and people just walk by him. Almost like that story, but now everyone sins. Oh, I want to know, does he ever smile? Do his feelings ever show? Does he ever feel alone? When no one's watching, where does he go? I like to think that he just goes about his day. Suppose he has a family and he needs to earn pay. With just one blink you could prove that you are real. Or just sit there, no big deal. Oh, I want to know, does he ever smile? Do his feelings ever show? Does he ever feel alone? When no one's watching, where does he go? Oh yeah, I also have music out on Spotify and Apple Music. Greg Kranak is the name. Check it out.
Alrighty, great job. That was great. And yes, remember to shout out your handles if you feel like shouting out your handles. There's a big front row right here. I know some of it. One of you wants to perform. I know one of you does. Feel free. The sign up. Oh, you're getting called out. Got ghosts? Okay. Alrighty, moving on though for now. We will come back to this. Next up, we have our Vicky. Vicky. Put your hands together.
Hello. Hi, everybody. I usually don't do this, but I walked into the kitchen today and Jessica came down and she said, "Can somebody read Frankenstein?" And I was like, totally, Jessica. So snaps for Jessica, everybody, because this goes out to her. So I'm going to be reading an excerpt from Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, and this is going to be the part where the creator looks at his monster for the first time. So this is chapter 5. How can I describe my emotions at this catastrophe, or how delineate the wretch whom, with such infinite pains and care, I have endeavored to form? His limbs were in proportion, and I'd selected his features as beautiful. Beautiful, great God! His yellow skin scarcely covered the work of muscles and arteries beneath. His hair was of a lustrous black and flowing. His teeth were of a pearly whiteness. But these luxuriancies only formed a more horrid contrast with his watery eyes, that seemed almost of the same color of the dun white sockets in which they were set, his shriveled complexion in straight black lips. The different accidents of life are not so changeable as the feelings of human nature. I had worked hard for nearly 2 years for the sole purpose of infusing life into an inanimate body. For this I had deprived myself of rest and health. I had desired it with ardor that far exceeded moderation. But now that I had finished, the beauty of the dream vanished, and breathless horror and disgust filled my heart. Unable to endure the aspect of the being which I had created, I rushed out of the room and continued a long time traversing my bedchamber, unable to compose my mind to sleep. At length lassitude succeeded to the tumult I had before endured, and I threw myself on the bed in my clothes, endeavoring to seek a few moments of forgetfulness. But it was in vain. I slept, indeed, but I was disturbed by the wildest dreams. I thought I saw Elizabeth, in the bloom of health, walking in the streets of Ingolstadt. Delighted and surprised, I embraced her, but as I imprinted the first kiss on her lips, they became livid with the hue of death. Her features appeared to change, and I thought that I held the corpse of my dead mother in my arms. A shroud enveloped her form, and I saw the grave worms crawling out of the folds of her flannel. I started from my sleep with horror. A cold dew covered my forehead. My teeth chattered, and every limb became convulsed. When, by the dim and yellow light of the moon, as it forced its way through the window shutters, I beheld the wretch, the miserable monster whom I created. He held up the curtain of the bed, and his eyes, if eyes they may be called, were fixed on me. His jaws opened, and he muttered some inarticulate sounds while a grin wrinkled his cheeks. He might have spoken, but I did not hear. One hand was stretched out, seemingly to detain me, but I escaped and rushed downstairs. I took refuge in the courtyard belonging to the house which I had inhabited, where I remained during the rest of the night, walking up and down in the greatest agitation, listening attentively, catching and fearing each sound as if it were to announce the approach of the demoniacal corpse which I had so miserably given life.
Alrighty, thank you, Vicky. I have to say, I don't think I've actually ever read Frankenstein. I've seen like those like kids versions of Frankenstein, but I haven't actually read it. But it sounds interesting. Sounds pretty cool. Oh, okay, well, Vicky says it's great, so read Frankenstein. Alrighty, and up next, again, reminder: if you want to sign up, if you're thinking about signing up, sign up, or get some snacks, but sign up. Alrighty, up next, we're gonna have Virgie. Alrighty, put your hands together.
Take this, do it like this. It's better. Okay. Oh, maybe this side is better. So, I like this open mics, and when I saw that the theme was spooky, I said to myself, I normally don't write like spooky stuff, but this came out. So let's see. I'm trying to put myself out there, so sorry if I make an embarrassment of myself. It's called Tales of Corporate Dread. Watch out! Here it comes in glee. The monsters that all grown-ups hide. On that we can agree. It lurks through the night when our dreams are flying high. It taints them with a sense of doubt, so all our hopes are drowned. It shows up and glares when you're up and ready to yell, I quit! But as quick as you said it, it is up as an abusive parent to creep up in your ear. You won't make it. And as you turn your head around, spooked and on edge, you see this dark beast. It's only you, only it looks dead. Ticking hands and ticking clocks, it got old, doing what he wants, but it went bad, it went awful. Entrepreneurship debacle. Before it touches you, you quickly escape its doom. You hide underneath the desk. Behind this broom, this will not be you. And as you're about to jump into your freedom, you hesitate when you look down, and bam, it appears from nowhere. This dream has drowned. So you let the simmer pass, that heat and fire and flame. There are no more plans. You stay in that office job, say goodbye to that adventure, that flair, for it has won again, your fears. The corporate scare. For you see, kids, it was fear all along. It thrives on stories you make up in your mind. It traps you in your little box. It's uncomfortable, but it's home. No one can escape it. You'll hear it come for you. Tick-tock, time is running up. Will you succumb or grab it by its nuts? Thank you.
Alrighty, thank you, Virgie. That was great. Very funny. I loved it. Alrighty. We're coming down to the last acts of the night. But they don't have to be the last acts. If you feel in your heart you want to perform. Your whole friend group is really pushing you to perform right now. There's only like 10 people in this room. Like, it's really low stakes, low stress. But we don't do peer pressure. No peer pressure. Peer pressure is wrong. Unless you need to. But anyways, moving on. Up next, we're going to have Maria read. Yay. Put your hands together for Maria.
Hi, I'm Maria. I'm part of the Kelly Writers House staff. First time reading, so this is going to be fun. And I'm going with a classic for Halloween. No Edgar Allan Poe yet. I'm shocked. This one's called Telltale Heart. It's true. Yes, I have been ill. Very ill. But why do you say that I have lost control of my mind? Why do you say that I am mad? Can you not see that I have full control of my mind? Is it not clear that I am not mad? Indeed. The illness only made my mind, my feelings, my senses stronger, more powerful. My sense of hearing especially became more powerful. I could hear sounds I had never heard before. I heard sounds from heaven, and I heard sounds from hell. Listen and I will tell you how it happened. You will see, you will hear how healthy my mind is. It is impossible to say how the idea first entered my head. There was no reason for what I did. I did not hate the old man. I even loved him. He never hurt me. I did not want his money. I think it was his eye. His eye was like the eye of a vulture. The eye of one of those terrible birds that watch and wait while an animal dies, and then fall upon the dead body and pull it to pieces to eat it. When the old man looked at me with his vulture eye, a cold feeling went up and down my back. Even my blood became cold. And so, I finally decided I had to kill the old man and close that eye forever. So you think that I am mad. A madman cannot plan. But you should have seen me. During all that week, I was so friendly to the old man as I could be, and warm and loving. Every night about 12 o'clock, I slowly opened his door. And when the door was opened wide enough, I put my hand in. And then my head. In my hand, I held a light covered over with a cloth so that no light showed. And I stood there, quietly. Then carefully, I lifted the cloth just a little so that a single thin small light fell across that eye. For 7 nights I did this. 7 long nights. Every night at midnight. Always the eye was closed, so it was impossible for me to do the work, for it was not the old man I felt I had to kill. It was the eye, his evil eye. And every morning I went to his room, and with a warm, friendly voice, I asked him how he had slept. He could not guess that every night, just at 12, I looked at him as he slept. The 8th night, I was more than usually careful as I opened the door. The hands of a clock moved more quickly than did my hand. Never before had I felt so strongly my own power. I was now sure of success. The old man was lying there, not dreaming that I was at his door. Suddenly he moved in his bed. You may think I became afraid, but no, the opening of the door. I continued to push the door, slowly, softly. I put in my head. I put in my hand with a covered light. Suddenly, the old man sat up straight in bed and cried, "Who's there?" I stood quite still. For a whole hour, I did not move, nor did I hear him again lie down in his bed. He just sat there, listening. Then I heard a sound, a low cry of fear which escaped from the old man. Now I knew that he was sitting up in his bed, filled with fear. I knew that he knew that I was there. He did not see me there. He could not hear me there. He felt me there. Now he knew that death was standing there. Slowly, little by little, I lifted the cloth until a small light escaped from under it to fall upon the vulture eye. It was open, wide open, and my anger increased as it looked straight at me. I could not see the old man's face, only that eye, that hard blue eye, and the blood in my body became like ice. Have I not told you that my hearing had become unusually strong? Now I could hear a quick, low, soft sound, like the sound of a clock heard through a wall. It was the beating of the old man's heart. I tried to stand quietly, but the sound grew louder.
The old man's fear must have been great indeed, and as the sound grew louder, my anger became greater and more painful. It was more than anger. In the quiet night, in the dark silence of the bathroom, my anger became must hear. The time had come. I rushed into the room crying, "Die, die." The old man gave a loud cry of fear as I fell upon him and the bed covers tightly over his head. Still his heart was beating, but I smiled as I felt the success was near. For many minutes that heart continued to beat, but at last the beating stopped. The old man was dead. I took away the bed covers and held my ear above his heart. There was no sound. Yes, he was dead. So I am mad, you say. You should have seen how I carefully was to put the body where no one could find it. First I cut off the head, then the arms and the legs. I was careful not to let a single drop of blood fall on the floor. I pulled up 3 of the boards and performed the floor and put the pieces of the body there. Then I put the boards down again carefully, so carefully that no human eye could see that they had ever been moved. So I finished this work. I heard that someone was at the door. I was now 4 o'clock in the morning, but still dark. I had no fear. However, as I went down to open the door, 3 men were at the door, 3 officers of the law. One of the neighbors had heard the old man's cry and had called the police. The 3 had come to ask questions to search the house. I asked them to come in. The old man, I said, was away. He had gone to visit a friend in the country. As if playing a game with them, I asked them to sit down and talk for a while. My easy, quiet manner made the policemen believe my story, so they sat, talking with me in a friendly way. But although I answered them in the same way, I soon wished that they would go. My head hurt, and there was a strange sound in my ears. I talked more and faster, and the sound became clearer, and still they sat and talked. Suddenly, I knew that the sound was not in my ears. It was just inside my head. At that moment, I must have become quite white. I talked still faster and louder, and the sound, too, became louder. It was quick, low, soft sound like the sound of a clock heard on a wall, a sound I knew well. Louder it became and louder, and why did the man not go? Louder, louder, louder. I stood up and walked quickly above the room. I pushed my chair across the floor to make more noise, to cover that terrible sound. I talked even louder, and still the man sat and talked and smiled. Was it possible they could not hear? No, they heard. I was certain of it. They knew. Now it was they who were playing a game with me. I was suffering more than they have ever heard. Suddenly I could hear it no longer. I pointed at the boards and cried, "Yes, yes, I killed him. Pull up the boards and you shall see. I killed him." But why does his heart not stop beating? Why does it not stop? Thank you.
Wow, thanks, Maria. You should be a storyteller, dude. That was good. Wow, that was crazy. Okay, cool. Edgar Allan Poe is a classic. It's Halloween. Alrighty. Okay, up next, in case anybody else wants to sign up, if you've just come in, feel free to sign up. Sign up sheets in the back. Again, reminders. No? Okay. Anyways, moving on, we have Zara. Yay. Yay. She wants to do this.
Okay, I don't ever write horror, but I guess this could count as horror because it's pretty horrific. This is a bit morbid, but I come from South Africa in Johannesburg, which is the gender-based violence capital of the world. So this is a poem I wrote quite a while back, but anyway. Okay. There is something rotten in our land. The water is angry. It heaves decaying bodies and spits them out onto the cakey mud. Torrents gush through unmarked graves, dragging limbs into the sewer drains. There is something rotten in our land. You cannot breathe without inhaling the stench of dreams deferred, of lives gone too soon. A child stumbles forward. Worms have burrowed into her legs and her bones jut out. You need to get out, Mama, she begs, as her mother backs away. She will not get out. This they both know. She cannot escape from his anger as it burrows inside her. The terror threatens to hollow out. She can feel the fat worms under her daughter's skin. There is something rotten in our land. Soon the dirt will swallow them both. The soil suffocates the young woman as she lies in a shallow felt grave. Flash floods fill her lungs and debris invades her throat as she traces the bruises that wring her neck. She knows that her body will never be found. She knows that there is no justice for crimes like these. There is something rotten in our land. The rot has eaten into our bones. It has corroded away all human parts. It festers, it decays, it disintegrates. Under a sulfur-scented, smog-laden South African sky, women look down, afraid to die. Okay.
Alrighty, that was the last act. Great job, Zara. Alrighty, that was the last act of the night. So if we have no other signups, nobody else interested, any more songs? That was a no from the performers. Okay, well then, thank you all so much for coming to Speakeasy for the first time this year. Oh, thank you. Thanks for listening to me talk. And if you're interested. Oh, thanks, guys. If you're interested in any more Kelly Writers House events, feel free to check out our online website, which is just kellywritershouse.org, whatever. But, yep, feel free to check out. And we also have calendars in the front if you're interested. And feel free to grab more snacks. We have lots of snacks. Grab something. But thanks for coming in. All right.